I'm really happy and fortunate today to be in Bradford in West Yorkshire and have a whole series of meetings arranged by one of the most dynamic community leaders in the country, Mr. Hasmukh Shah. And the first port of call today is with Mr. Balbir Panesar of P.E.C. Building and Shop Fitting, one of the most successful businessmen in the country. He's also chairman of the Bradford Chamber of Commerce. And his story is quite fascinating of how he migrated here and how he settled and started right from the bottom, eventually set up a very large and successful national business. So Balbirji, can you recite some of that story and how you managed to make such a big transformation? Because to start as an apprentice is one thing, but to actually run a large national business is quite another, and to do that in one lifetime, in one spirit, one soul. Where did you get that confidence?
I think it goes back to the parents, it goes back to the upbringing, I think it goes back to our culture, our way of doing things. So when I first arrived here in England, I was 11, I could hardly speak any English, and we did our schooling here, and as I left school, my parents wanted me to be a doctor, but I don't think I was quite clever enough to be a doctor. So I think at the time it was decided I would do an apprenticeship as an electrician, which I enjoyed doing. And over the years I trained to be an electrician. Then after 10 years, and having a lot of experience working with my father part-time on various different types of jobs, learning other parts of construction, during the weekends and so on, I decided to leave employment and start as an electrician, self-employed electrician, which it was difficult in those days. There was no support. All the support that we have nowadays, the business links and so on, they did not exist. Even if they existed, I didn't know about it. So I learned the hard way to do business. The business grew. Over the years, I created a lot of new clients, national clients, and it led on to us becoming a multi-trade company, and we expanded. Now, I have been in business for 33 years now, and I would say the success is put down to the training or the moral support given by the family behind me, also the team I have in the business now, and also sheer hard work like we all Asians or Indians do out in business or out in our working lives.
You must have encountered many barriers along the way, like for example, doing business with a turban or being different, because this is not an industry easy to break into, and perhaps especially at a time when you were operating. How did you overcome the barriers? How did you...
Yes, the barriers are there. The barriers are there all the time, and it can be difficult, but the rule is not to give up. One thing I've always done is integrated. I think integrating with the community in England is important, rather than getting ourselves into separate pockets of just working with the Asian community and so on. 95% of our clients are English companies or national blue chip companies, so we've broken into the mainstream, as you might say. But it is by sheer wanting to deliver the service, the quality of service that we deliver within the right budgets, that's kept us in there. Yes, occasionally we will come across racism and so on, but we have to just carry on doing our jobs, and occasionally we will miss out on work because people are set with their thoughts in a certain way. But I don't think it's a major problem if you keep putting your heart to it, wanting to do it.
We have, along the way of, along our Masala tour, we have visited Sikh Gurudwaras and looked at the Sikh culture and its approach to equality, and we are very impressed with how the culture has such a strong emphasis on equality of everyone, men, women, people of different cultures, and also the way the langars are welcoming of all kinds of people. So this idea of food and hospitality is so deep. May I ask, in terms of culture and faith, you know, you said earlier about how you had the strength to keep going, you had the strength to deal with any barriers that came along the way. Was there a role of your faith and culture in those kind of moments?
I'm sure there is. It's an important part of our upbringing, and we were always taught to go to the Gurdwaras, and we have always gone to the Gurdwaras as much as we can, including myself and my family. So what the learnings, the teachings that we have at the Gurdwaras is certainly bound to affect the way we perform out in society.
We are living in a time where business ethics are being increasingly questioned. So I would be interested to know, what is your business ethic? You know, what are your values and principles that you apply in your business?
One of the biggest things that we believe in is to deliver a quality of service, to look after our clients, our customers, and also not only the clients and customers, but our staff. We employ over 100 staff in this business, and it is teamwork all the way through. But we want to be here for tomorrow. We're not here to provide our services for a customer for just once. A lot of our business is repeat business with clients nationally, and that is what we want to do, carry on doing as well.
So relationships are important to you?
Relationships is the biggest thing in our business. It is clearly the most important thing for us to make sure that the relationship between myself and the staff, myself and the clients, between the staff and the clients, all the way through, even the trainees. And as far as on the sites with the clients, we ensure that relationship is good all the way through.
So in a sense, profit is not your primary motivator, but customer satisfaction.
Profit is a big motivator, otherwise I would not be in business today. But customer satisfaction is the most important thing at the same time. I won't be lying otherwise. Yeah. Sorry about that.
And what we are finding when we visit various parts of Britain is that when Indians have migrated and settled, one of their instinctive acts has to be in creating a community where they are and working to shape and build a community. I hear that, I noticed that you've done a tremendous work in the Bradford Chamber of Commerce and effectively helped shape the business community of Bradford and give direction to it and give leadership to it. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I have been involved with the Bradford Chamber of Commerce for over 10 years now, and I became the president after being the vice president for 2 years. And in my role as president, I have done my way of getting the message across to our chamber organisation, so that we can involve all the other communities in business, so that everybody understands, so the doors are open to everybody. And since then things have changed in many ways, whereas businesses now are understanding, our Asian businesses or the ethnic businesses are getting more involved with the Chamber of Commerce in Bradford.
So one of the things you're emphasizing is integration and working with all kinds of different cultures and different groups of people in business. How is that? How can that be manifested? Because we do see a lot of businesses which also operate within kind of ghettos, and the mindset is sometimes small, that the target is just one small community. How can we change the mindset of people to think globally and act globally?
I think this goes back to breaking barriers, and to be able to do that, you've got to want to get out of that culture of just working within your own community. You've got to want to take that extra step, get to that next level of getting outside that community. But I mean, I'm here to talk to anybody anytime, to give my way of advice of how I've done it. But anybody that wants to do it has that drive in them, wants to make that difference, will be able to do it. The business is outside in the outside that community is not going to come to us unless we make that effort. We have to make the effort.
As a country, if we look, it's a well-known fact that if we look at even the top 100 companies quoted in the stock exchange, the boardroom composition is fairly monocultural and fairly male. And these are companies which operate and trade globally, and this is 2010. So the glass ceiling is very real. You know, there are many stories of people like you setting up their businesses and then expanding their businesses. But really, when we look at the core, at these large multinational corporations, that level of integration has still not happened. What is your advice about that? I mean, how can we make that transformation, or can we do it alone, or how can the country change its culture towards understanding the strength of difference and minorities?
I think I don't think it's about the country changing the culture. I think it's more about ourselves. Again, it's more about ourselves wanting and pushing our way all the way to get to the top. The more that we do it, the more chance that we're going to have. It's not going to come to us. This country already, I think, does quite a lot for us as a community, and I think, excuse me, compared to many other countries, I think we're in a country which is very welcoming to us as a community and as a business community. But for us to reach to those levels at the board, yes, there will be barriers, but whoever it is out there that's wanting to get there, they must not give up trying.
I'm with Mr. Steve Fowler, who is a commercial director here at P.E.C. Steve, what is it like working with a boss wearing a turban?
I don't actually think of that really, to be honest. Me and Pani have known one another for many years, maybe up to 25 years, and I don't consider people wearing turbans or the colour of their skin as either important in business life. We have a good personal relationship, and we always have, and that's the most important part of it.
Do you feel that his approach to running the business is different because of his culture, and that there are aspects of that difference which are attractive to you to work in this kind of an organization?
I think Sikh philosophy, from what I've seen, does bring something different. I think Sikhs tend to be very business-minded, single-minded people, and have a clear direction of where they're going. And I think that is important in business, and it's an attribute I think is important, certainly from my point of view.
And clearly you've enjoyed working alongside him, and you've succeeded with this as well. So.
Oh yeah, I think it's important to say that business is about trust, and we trust one another. Pani trusts me, and I trust Pani. We have to make tough decisions at various times, and over 25 years, some of those decisions have been hard. Not everything has gone well at times. Some things have gone well and some things haven't. And we've gone through the rough and smooth, and that business relationship and our personal relationship has been very important in achieving that.